Welcome to the 5th edition in our year-long partnership with CSCS. Sean Kearns, CEO, or Sam as you referred to the other day, is back in the studio. Last week, Building Safety Act, in and around that. This week, this is the Digital Skills Passport. So, impending launch, lots to talk about. Let's go straight to it, I think. What is it? Why was it developed?
Well, the Mark Farmer review of the ITB reviews that was released early in the year refers to CSCS cards and the industry need for a digital skills passport. So it inferring to build on what we've already got in place. So if you think about what a passport does, the passport in your pocket that we all know, it gives you access to get in and out of the country, in and out of multiple countries, and depending upon where you're going, you may need a visa and you might need some form of medical. So whilst the passport gets you through the gate, there may be some additional checks in play. We've been very clear that the card for construction has been playing a similar role for the last 30 years. It gets you onto site. But because of what's happening now, as we covered in the last episode around building safety, there's a requirement for more information about me as a worker that the site needs to know about in terms of my skills and competence, and therefore we're just layering that into the card. There's no way you can print it, print the detail in the same way as it's not printed in your physical passport to get in and out of the country. It's got the basic information to help ID it's you. The details in the card. That's it. That's what the digital passport's all about.
It's about time, isn't it? 2025. Good to see. Right, I want to get this bit right because there's some quite accurate things that need to be expressed. So, with the CSCS app, obviously helping employers and individuals demonstrate they're meeting their legal duties under the Building Safety Act, particularly around, and this is something that a lot of people have been shouting about, around proving ongoing competence.
So as I just started to touch on in the last piece, so it would be absolutely impossible to put all that information on a card. Your passport gets stamped.
But it doesn't tell you what hotels you went,
but it doesn't.
Or what excursions you
exactly.
did.
Exactly. So it's told you where, effectively, on a visual where you've been. As a digital passport, therefore, you still need that physical device as the initial token to signify it's you. What we're effectively doing in the My CSCS app, here's your card. In the app, you can see your card or multiple cards, because I might be on the tools, have a blue card, but I might also be a supervisor. So therefore, both those cards are visible through the same passport. And if I happen to also have skills and competence to work at height, I can see that through the same tool, as opposed to having lots of bits in my wallet.
Which is perfect for the next question, leading me into it. So more things in there, such as CPD, training, toolbox talks. This is going to be in the app, not on the card.
Yeah.
So it's really your CV.
Well, in part,
in a way.
Yeah. So what? Now, what we're clear, what we're developing, and what we've developed so far, is in response to what has been defined already as part of the skills, knowledge, experience, behaviours process as part of defining competence. And the industry is still in that debate and still in that design process through the sector representative organisations and through the sector skills bodies. So we don't define that. We're not involved in the detail of that. The question that we're asking is, as they're getting into their implementation phase, is what does the person now need to interpret? Me as the holder of the card that needs to now surface this information when asked on site, and what does the employer need as part of their evidencing process under building safety? So what we've done so far with what is known, and what is known is around the skills and knowledge piece.
Yeah.
There's still elements around what aspects of experience and behaviours would need to be recorded. So we're not looking to design that until we've got a collective view as to what that needs to look like. But what we're very clear is the bit about skills and knowledge, the cardholder will know what they know. So therefore, through the app, the cardholder can upload that information. The bits that meets a threshold that has to be verified, which is what happens now when they apply to us for a card, they've got to demonstrate their qualification certificate and the health and safety test. We then check and verify 2 others in the background, and then they get issued a card. In the application process now, you'll see in the app that they are verified status. For CPD, whatever is defined as part of the SKEBs, the skills, knowledge, experience and behaviours for each occupation, and the CPD or the short courses or whatever is defined for those particular occupations, you'll be able to see that as a verified tick if it's needing to be defined and identified. On experiences, we're in conversation with industry at the moment, because we've got the Smart Check tool that the employer should be using in order to check the card holder. So why wouldn't that Smart Check check made by the employer be flagged and recorded to the individual? So therefore the individual can see that information as to how the card's been read.
So again, straight into the next question. CSCS Smart Check system, the existing one, how's this app integrating?
Yeah, so the My CSCS app, the digital passport, is mine.
Yep.
Is yours. It's all about you or me. Nobody else. It's our information. However, the employer has multiple me's and you's.
Yeah.
As part of a workforce, whether directly employed, subcontracted, dependent upon the skills and discipline on the site. And they've got a responsibility under building safety to understand who's in and around their sites. They do it through gate control and everything else. But they need to know that they've got a full competent workforce doing what is required on that site. Smart Check is the border control process in this passport world to verify that who's been on site had the skills and competence to do what the employer required at the time.
With apps, there's a lot of technology. Can you say you've been working with, because obviously there's a lot of partnerships going on. Apps are always updated.
Yeah. So our application process means that we've got APIs in the background of calling data from the awarding organisations to check and verify, to CITB to check and verify their their training register and their health and safety, and to other bodies who issue alternatives. So that's been in play for 10 years plus on an electronic basis. But what we're now also in the process of doing is to the employers that need to call and access, we have an API for them to be able to call in using the Smart Check tool as the checking tool, but they should be passing back information about what's been checked.
So they can start doing that now.
Then that's in play now.
Yeah.
Going forward, we're constantly looking at how do we integrate to other ID related checks. So if you now, I don't know if you've applied for a passport recently, but that process and that wait is my passport going to be back in time? Because I had to send a physical photo and everything else. It's all a digital process now, and there are verification processes in the background. That's exactly what our process does, and that gets built on time after time as there are a better verifying authentic responders, if you like, that are trusted.
I think it's a good thing we're starting to become a bit more digital as an industry, because it's 2025 and hopefully other systems can follow suit, because I think the sooner it's done, the better. So obviously we're finalising, as we record this exact day this show goes out, but also the release, the rollout. You've got any firm dates in mind? And obviously people, what can they do now? What can they look forward to?
Yeah. So the MyCSC app, it is available on both Google and App Store now. The additional functionality we've just been talking about in terms of the application process and this additional functionality around My Skills is launched in June. So as this is going out, it's there and available as part of the download. It's a free download. So if you're a card holder,
get on
it. What this does, it gives you what you've got as a physical card that you're used to. You've now got a digital card, which is exactly the same information. So actually, if you forget to take your card, you can just show your digital. It's on your phone. But as we just said, you'll now be able to have more engagement through it. So as we release more functionality, there's some notification information. So if by the time you come to reapply, you'll be able to apply through the app. So that verification, you'll be able to photo upload your additional skill certificates. So you don't have to faff about trying to find and upload it and do a scan and put it onto a web page. You'll be able to do it all through your phone, which means that the application process and the re-verification process should be easier for you as a card holder.
I think it's brilliant. It's something you need to do. I was called a dinosaur the other day by a younger member in the industry. Us oldies that may not be great on tablets and phones. Is there any way of getting any help for this? Is there sort of like something you're working on as a video how to do it or something like that? Because I think the reason a lot of construction doesn't like change is because we've got an older workforce that look at digital things and go, oh dear.
Great question. That's exactly what we've designed on it. So when you download the app for the first time, 20-second video explains the process, what you can do and how to do it, and it's there in the background if you need to rerun it. So it's designed. You don't need to know what card you need. you upload the information that you've got about your skills and qualification, and it will tell you what that gets you. And the employers, you just need to download and use the Smart Check app, or make contact with us to gain access to the Smart Check API, so you can gain access to that checking of the card holder.
Right, now the juicy bit. Questions from viewers. Please keep them coming in. Don't jump on LinkedIn, have a moan up if you've not sent it in, because as I've said on the previous 4 episodes, what is sent in, I read. They're sitting here. They're brilliant this week. So, first one. I'm seeing a lad on a labourer's card use power tools and drive some diggers. Is this okay?
No, not in a word, no.
It kind of links to another question, which I just wanted to read it out because I said I would, so we know it's not okay. This was the last question, but I read it now. If someone with a labourer's card has an accident driving a dumper, who is legally responsible for this?
So it will be the site.
Yeah.
Because they should have been checking that the individual had the skills and competence for the equipment that they're on, and therefore their employer. So there is responsibility on the individual.
Yeah.
But right card, right job. Absolutely. Yeah, that's the challenge message all the time within industry. A labourer card might have got you on site, but if you've got a detailed toolkit, you tell me anybody that's really labouring that's got a full suite.
And I think that is an element of where some people are getting quite hot under the collar, is that card is there, but it's a lot of responsibility on that site to make sure that young lad or lass isn't doing what they shouldn't be doing. Yeah. To push the job on because it saves money. The cards are here for a reason.
Yeah, and I guess the positive message to the person that's saying you're on the wrong card. Get them onto a red card. So they may not be skilled and competent, but get them onto a red trainee card and put them in the training so that they are your skilled worker of the future.
I love this last question. I don't think we've got long left, but we'll try and get it done. Why aren't CSCS cards used in residential works? I presume that means like your kitchen extension or a refurbishment of your,
yeah,
whatever.
So CSCS, CSS Alliance, we work to the CLC directives, their recommendations, which are principally commercial sites.
I wonder if that's because mainly CLC are tier 1 and tier 2s.
Yeah, and
because a lot of us doing residential work.
Yeah.
What you see on jobs is quite frightening with youngsters doing what.
So that's where the history, and that's where the understanding of the basis of the card has originated from. But with building safety and the Building Safety Act, we're constantly asking that question. The standard applies whether it's domestic residential, whether it's commercial residential, which the card should be being applied in, whether in maintenance or in refurbishment or construction. Yeah. You still want to know that you've got a skilled, competent individual. So we're then dealing with that issue of accountability and the as we all refer to them as the cowboys that bring the other reputation of our trades down.
I think my view, just to finish with, as homeowners, you've got to start taking a bit more responsibility you allow in your house.
And ironically, what we introduced in the Smart Check app in 2022 can be downloaded on yours or my phone. So as a homeowner, if that person had a card, you could check it. we may need to do some minor modifications to the app to make it so it's clear and interpretable by those not in trade as to what you've just checked.
I think done in the right way, we need it in residential, we need it across all works. God, look at the rest of Europe, look at Australasia, North America. I don't know why Britain's so far behind on this, but we've been banging on about this for years, as have many bodies and companies. But hopefully, what are we now, 2025? I would like to say in 3 years, we are going to have cards of some degree across all works, because still to this day, anybody can walk into a house and say, I'm a builder. Stick a few acros up, take the back of a house out, bosh, falls down, grab the money, run.
Yeah.
But on a positive, thank you, Sean. This is now nearly halfway through.
Yep.
So episode 6, we will be recording very soon. But if you do have any questions, please send them in. It doesn't matter through what platform. I will read them out. It's as simple as that. Sean answers them, and hopefully that clears everything up for you.